Hiya, and welcome back to Remember the Flowers, the game that teaches us to have unbelievable patience. So let's just hop right in. The person, no. The beast man holding the gun moves one step closer. Don't move, he says in a gruff, commanding voice. If I was cold before, I'm frozen now. I'm just sitting here trying to see his movements the best I can with what little I can see. Through the slits of my fingers, I can ascertain one thing. He is a wolf, and a tall one at that. The wolf circles around me. I can see him clearly in my peripheral. He can see my face now, along with the terrified expression I'm wearing. Gun or not, he could rip me to shreds with just those claws. Not that there's much to rip apart. I don't stand a chance at running in my current condition. Hell, I can barely stand up. So I sit here, waiting to see what he's going to do with me. He's a few feet away, gun still pointed at me. Upon closer inspection, it looks to be the size of a pistol, but it doesn't look like any model I've ever seen. The wolf shifts his head, looking all over my body. My teeth start chattering again, reverberating through the alley. He walks up closer with intent. I shut my eyes. It's all I can do. This is the worst my breathing has been since I woke up. I can feel my empty stomach churn and my dehydrated eyes strain to tear up. The only thing that pulls me out from my panic attack is the feeling of something soft under my chin. Smash. He starts to slowly lift my head with his paw. His paw pads feel like worn leather under my chin. His breath is hot on my face. Now more than ever, I wish this was just a dream. Wolf squints his eyes and speaks to me. I can't make it out as the ringing in my ears is too loud. Is all I can muster. The wolf closes his eyes before pulling his hand away. He sits in front of me, we're eye level with each other. Are you okay? Huh? He pauses once more before repeating himself again. Are you okay? I don't respond. I'm not in the right state of mind to. He seems to pick up on this. Calm down. I'm not going to hurt you. The wolf places the gun he was holding on the ground and slides it to the other side of the alley. See, if I wanted to, I would have already. That's one gun gone, but what about the one on his back? My eyes veer to it, which he notices. I'm not taking that one off. It would be too much work. He states matter-of-factly before switching to a crisscross position. You're okay, you're okay. He looks me in the eyes again before holding his paws apart in front of me. Breathe in. He then pulls them closer almost in a clapping motion. And breathe out. I'm slowly transitioning from panic to confusion, which I'd say is an upgrade. For some reason, the inflection in his voice sounds weird. He's speaking English undoubtedly, but something about it is off. I can't put my finger on it. Is it a dialect? Regardless, I do as he says and start to match my breathing with his movements. We do this for a while, and slowly but surely it seems to be working. Hold on, let me do a thing real quick. The stream's gonna die for a little bit, but I feel like I gotta do this for a minute. I'm gonna just delete this quick. Here we go. We do this for a while, and slowly but surely it seems to be working. With enough time and effort, and with the help of this wolf, I bring myself out of my self-induced panic attack. After one final deep breath, I manage to get back to just breathing through my nose. I'm still breathing faster than I would like to, but it's a start. There, how are you feeling? He takes a deep breath as well. I guess that did take longer than it needed to. Tired and dizzy. I finally drop my hands down for a moment before moving to hold my head. Feels like I swapped a panic attack for a headache. I'm not surprised. The wolf gets closer to me, to my head. Wow, I really don't like how close he's getting. You've lost a lot of blood. Gently, he holds my chin and shifts me to the right, revealing the back of my head. He leans in closer and takes a few sniffs. I can feel his breath again and I start to get apprehensive. I instinctively pull back. Gentle or not, this really isn't helping with my anxiety. You're still scared. Huh? He leans in again. I can feel the wetness of his nose on my forehead as he trails around my head, before sniffing around some more. Sorry, the wolf says bluntly before he pulls back. Habit of mine. Okay. What's her name? He asks suddenly. I literally don't have an answer for him. I don't know. The wolf doesn't seem fazed by that. What do you know? I don't know. My emotions feel like a metronome, swapping between scared and confused at the drop of a dime. I'd like to believe he's right. If he wanted to hurt me, he would have already. Now that I think about it, I don't think he could hurt me either way, on the account of not feeling any pain. Well, that's not true. He could break my legs, and even if I couldn't feel it, I'd be at his mercy. That flash of imagery in my head makes me shudder. Wait here. Huh? His voice snaps me out of my imagination. He stands up and then moves near the alley entrance. I cock my head as I try to see what he's doing. The wolf waves a paw over his right wrist and a small screen lights up in front of him. Seems to be coming out of a bracelet he's wearing. I squint, trying to make heads or tails of it. Seriously, where the hell am I? We certainly didn't have this kind of tech back on Earth. Or in Cyberpunk. Whatever he's doing, he's tapping furiously away on it with his fingers. For a moment, he places his free paw over his chin. He looks deep in thought. All of a sudden, he turns his attention back to me, looking me over once more before typing away again. He waits. Then I hear something. A notification? Then he starts tapping again for about a minute before sliding the screen away. Okay, can you stand? I'm going to take you home now. Here. The wolf walks up to me before starting to get me on my feet. He carefully gets under my armpits and lifts me slowly, trying to keep me stable. How's that? Wait a minute. I stumble nearly to my knees and he catches me. It's okay, I can care if you want. I said wait! I raise my voice and the wolf's eyes widen a bit. I push him away, choosing to slump against the wall again. At least I'm standing, even if barely. Who the hell are you? Where the hell am I? How do you know where I live? Even though my adrenaline from earlier has worn off, I'm starting to get hit with rising paranoia. I barely even know where I live. You can't seriously expect someone with a head injury to just go with someone they don't even know, do you? Quite feisty for someone with a head injury. The wolf sighs before walking over, then sits down in front of me again so that I'm looking down at him. I'm kind of glad he did. My knees feel like they're about to give out and I sit back down on the ground. I don't know how to explain this without alarming you, but you're going through a fairly common experience around here. He then taps the side of his head, barring the head injury. What do you mean? The wolf scratches the back of his head. It's best that you know as little as possible, unless absolutely necessary. That's a horrible way to build trust. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but I did mean it. I don't need your trust. I could take you by force if you really want me to. The fur on his neck bristles and my fear spikes again. He flattens back down before rubbing the back of his neck. Relax. It won't come to that if you just cooperate. I'll say this. I've done this before, many times. Done what? Taking humans home. Amnesiac or not. How do you know where I live? The wolf pauses. Do you know where the resume is? Resume? No, should I? Wolf exhales, almost in relief. Whether or not you do, it doesn't matter to me. Resume is one of the few cities that's mainly just humans around here. Okay, so where's around here? The wolf shakes his head. We can talk about that later. Honestly, we've dallied long enough. Just know that I have contacts here. He lifts his paw, pointing to the weird bracelet. I've confirmed a meeting point to get you home safely. I open my mouth, Twitchy interrupts. And before you ask any more questions, I gave a description of your appearance and they matched it up with someone who's missing. I close my mouth. I guess you have done this before. I'm kind of surprising myself. I'm taking all of this in way too quickly, aren't I? I guess when your head is nearly empty, anything new becomes acceptable. Regardless, I'm going to at least try to remain skeptical. How do I know that you're not just setting me up? The wolf smirks at that. You don't. What would you be able to do in your current situation if I was, though? He has a point. Don't know where or who I am. I wouldn't be able to make it far. I sigh. I can't tell if my ears are still ringing or if there are alarm bells going off in my head. I resign myself. I really don't have a choice. Okay, fine. It's not like I trust you, though. That's wise. I won't do anything to hurt you. You can count on that. We'll see, I guess. With that out of the way, the exhaustion is starting to catch up, and I scoot back to my familiar spot against the wall. I can barely stand up, let alone walk. Not ready to impose, but you wouldn't happen to have any food or water, would you? Wolf thinks it over before turning toward the alley, listening. Yeah, we could probably have a quick bite to eat. Let me just... He walks over to the pile of crates and starts stacking them again, providing some decent coverage. There, that should be fine. I doubt anyone will go through the trouble to get through that. Besides you. Fair enough. Actually, that does make me curious. Before the wolf sits down, he plops the bag he had slung on his shoulder onto the ground. It looks a bit weird, almost like a violin case with its angle straightened out. It's like a weird, like an awkward trapezoid. Wait, I'm getting distracted. So, how did you know I was here? Oh. The wolf taps his snout with a couple of fingers. It was faint, but I could smell you a couple of blocks away. He pauses. Well, your blood anyways. I see. Well, why did you go through the trouble of finding me? Wolf takes out what seems to be a canteen and places it in front of me, along with some kind of package wrapped in what feels like plastic. Afterwards, he moves to sit next to me against the wall. I take on a lot of odd jobs. I wasn't looking for you per se, I was just in the area when I caught your scent. He takes his own package, ripping it open. Some kind of food? You should consider yourself lucky. By the looks of it, you wouldn't have lasted another day or two. Looking over myself, I'd say he's right. I'm skin and bones with an empty stomach and a concussion. Now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised I've made it this long. Slowly, I lean forward to pick up the canteen thing. I can feel liquid inside, but I don't see a way to use it. It's a rectangular shape with no discernible opening. Waff. He looks up from whatever he's eating. There's water in here, right? How do I open it? He swallows. Oh! He leans over and slides his finger across the top. A small opening appears. There, it's got some nutrients in it that should help. Just drink it slow. I do as I'm told. Maybe it's because I'm so dehydrated, but this water does taste pretty rich. It's almost heavy. I choke on it for a moment, but swallow it down soon, not wanting to waste any of it. I smack my lips a bit, as if it's alcohol. You okay? Yeah, just a bit strong. Just drink it slowly. I nod, a tad embarrassed for my lack of coordination. Regardless, I'm thankful for the drink. My throat even starts to feel better in just a few minutes. Not wanting to drink it all myself, I mimic what he did earlier to close the canteen. You know, on second thought, Wolf reaches over and takes the package he gave me. I'm going to take a guess that, judging by how he reacted to the water, you could use something a bit lighter to eat. He rummages once again in his bag before handing me a small parcel. That should be a bit lighter. Doesn't really taste like much, but it's got some protein. Curious, I reach over and pick it up. Feels like it's wrapped in paper, though there's no labels. Even with what little strength I have, I open it fairly easily. What's inside looks like saltine crackers, but brown instead of manila. I lift one up and smell it. It's like beef jerky, but only faintly. If I'm being honest, they don't look very appetizing. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I take one of the cracker things and bite into it. Thankfully, he's right. It doesn't taste like much. A little salty and a bit sweet, but not much else. Definitely the texture of a cracker. I'm just glad I got something to drink. After a few minutes of eating, I look over to the wolf. He's enjoying his meal. At least, I think he is. Man, how did I end up here? Now that I have time to think, I realize something. I don't recognize his voice from the ones I've heard before. I decide to speak up about this. Oh, right. I think there were people who left me here, but I can't really remember. Wolf looks over to me with a curious look. Do you remember anything about them? No, not really. Just a little bit of a conversation. Probably right after I got this dent in my head. I pat the crumbs off of my shirt and hold up the jacket I woke up with. I have this, but that's it. Wolf looks it over before he grabs it from my hands and smells it. He then scrunches his nose. I guess he didn't like how it smelled because he balls it up and tosses it to the side. I think it would be best to leave it here. Take my word. Oh, okay. I start thinking to myself. Whoever left that for me, I think they had my best interests in mind. Their voice seemed reassuring at least. Although to be fair, they did leave me here like this. I should be more careful. A voice isn't enough to judge a character. Oh wait, what's your name? We had such a shaky start that I completely forgot to ask. My name? He pauses and then sighs. Cooper. Just don't tell anyone. Why? You ask a lot of questions, you know that? To be fair, you're making it hard not to. Just eat your food. Okay. Once again, I do as I'm told, sitting in the strange alley with this strange beast man eating this strange food. I wonder, how would Damien react to the situation if he were here with me? Bet he'd try to carry me so we could get as far away from this place as possible. A little fragment flashes through my mind of Damien giving me a piggyback ride. I think he convinced me to play basketball with him and he whooped my butt. I remember being tired, just not as much as I am now. I sigh. I really miss his piggyback rides. I don't think this Rasoon place is my home. It's not much, but I have some memories of where I lived. Oh? I just don't know how to make sense of all of this. I'm not surprised. I just know one thing. I really want to go home. Well, as far as I'm aware, Rasoon is your home. He pauses. Even if it's not, Rasoon is known for getting people back to where they belong. What do you mean? Well, Rasoon is a hotspot for humans, almost a sanctuary. I'm sure they could get you back to wherever you came from. I hope so. Cooper flicks his ear at that. I guess he can sense my dejection, though I'm not really hiding it. Where do you come from? Nowhere worth mentioning. He dodges my question and stands up, listening intently. I think it's time we head out. How are you doing? Well, better, but I don't think I'm in any condition to move around too much. Can you walk? I grunt as I try to stand up. It wasn't much, but the combination of water and protein crackers is at least giving me enough strength to stand and walk a bit. Kind of, but I don't think for very far or long. We'll take breaks, and if it comes to it, I can carry you. Okay. I stretch, popping all my joints again, but this time it feels really good. Just glad to be off my butt for a bit. I should mention it. When we're out of the alley, it'd be best to keep talking to a minimum. Why? Cooper's stance shifts, looking towards the opening of the alley, then back at me. There are people trying to find you as we speak. And that's bad? Very. I can't disclose much, but I'll say this. Your life will be a living hell if they find you. Maybe it's just because I'm getting more lucid, but I'm not really fazed by that. That kind of worries me. Yeah. So wait, are you under contract? In a sense, as I've said, I've done a lot of escort missions. It tends to be easier the less people know. That doesn't sound skeevy or anything. Cooper looks out the alley, then back at me. Look, there's a lot out there, and with your current mental state, I don't think it'd be a good idea to overwhelm you. Maybe. I don't know. I close my eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Being left in the dark ain't much better. You'll be fine. I'm sure you've been through worse. Wouldn't know. Cooper actually chuckles at that before turning his gaze to the alleyway opening. Gotta do this in a way that's not suspicious. I think I'll leave that to you. Didn't really offer. Fair enough. After about 5 minutes, he manages to remove most of the boxes fairly quietly. We're free to leave the alley. I'm both nervous and excited. You said we shouldn't talk, right? Only if absolutely necessary. Whisper if you need to. I'll probably hear it. Why? Can we write? Do you have an axiom? A what? I'll take that as a no. He points to his bracelet. I can communicate through this via text, but that's it. What about pen and paper? Cooper looks at me as if I said something truly bizarre. I don't know how to write like that. Wait, what? I didn't use them much outside of class, but at least I know how. Okay. You do? Weird. What the? Like you're one to talk? I think to myself, grumbling. Oh, right. He looks over me again. I'm slowly getting used to that. What should I call you? Huh? Oh, I'm not sure. The thought hadn't crossed my mind. What do I call myself? Cooper pauses again, thinking. Well, until you come up with something, I'll just call you human. Okay. So we officially venture out. We do a bit of cleaning in the alley. Cooper tells me we should try to avoid leaving anything behind, sans that jacket he just tossed. Thankfully, there's not much. Just the wrappings from our food and... Oh. I forgot Cooper's other gun. It'd definitely lead to trouble if we left something like that lying around. As I was about to try and pick it up, I think to myself, is it a good idea to touch something like this? Hey Cooper, you left your gun over here. Is it okay for me to pick it up? Oh, good call. Yeah, the safety is on. Just try not to slide anything on it. Slide anything? On a gun? Okay, I know my motor skills are a bit rusty, but I should be able to pick up a gun without firing it, right? I gulp. I'm hovering my hand over it, inches away before a yellow arm invades my vision. Relax, you're not going to set it off. The wolf casually picks it up and even twirls it. See? If you say so. Here. Cooper then carefully takes my arm and plants the pistol into my hand. It's cool to the touch and smooth. It almost feels like a smartphone screen. My grip is firm on it and I don't want to drop it. Still, I do turn it around slowly, getting a decent look at it. It looks cool. It's not what I would normally picture a gun to look like, though. It's sleek and pretty light. However, it's still a gun and I don't trust myself with it. It's, neat. Here, take it back. Cooper takes it and holsters it back at his hip. I guess giving you a self-defense weapon is out of the question. Would that be necessary? In your position, yes. Why does whoever they are want me so bad? Classified. Figures. Ready to head out? As ready as I'll ever be. He takes out his bracelet or axiom and starts to tap away at it. Now that I'm close, I can kind of make out what he's doing. The screen is pretty clear, even while being somewhat translucent. I can't make out a lot, though. It looks blurry, almost as if censored. You can read that? I can. You can't. He swipes away the screen. No offense, but I'm not going to register you in it. Okay. Whatever that means. We're going to head out to a nearby plaza. It's late, but there should be a shop open. For what? I figured you could use a change of clothes. He grimaces. Glad I just got paid. You don't have to do anything. I'll manage. That's nice of you, human, but it's more out of necessity. Your current getup would be suspicious to just about anyone. I look down at what I'm wearing. He has a point, although I'm not sure what kind of fashion they have here. If I could choose, probably something with sleeves. Scars along my arms and legs are kind of off-putting, especially to me. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I'm not the person to ask about clothes. We'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. We both look over the alley, making sure it's empty enough. Alright, let's get moving. Tug on my sleeve or something if you need anything, and remember, keep quiet. Okay. With that, we make our way out of the alley. Oh, wow. It's hard to tell what time it is, but I guess it's after midnight. There's no one out on the streets, besides a few cars. Some flying cars at that. Okay, yeah, maybe Cooper was onto something about the scary outside world. What's more is that they're fairly quiet, just a slight hum. We walk on the sidewalk. The material is somewhat warm against my bare feet. I can tell what it's made out of, but it feels weird. I really wish I had some shoes. Cooper walks along the street, keeping me somewhat close to the walls of the nearby buildings. Their walls look sleek and unnaturally smooth. If I had to guess, they look like the same material as that gun Cooper has. The surfaces just look like big phone screens, highly reflective. I don't look long though, not wanting to see my face. We make it a block or two before I tug at Cooper's sleeve. Cooper perches here in my direction. I whisper as quietly as I can. Sorry, break? Sure. I lean against the wall behind me, taking a few breaths. I was hoping I'd last longer. The fact that it's the middle of the night doesn't help. I'm feeling pretty sleepy. Here, this should help. Before I can ask, he takes out his axiom. I think he draws a circle on the screen. As he does, the outline of a circle lights up on the ground. With another tap, Cooper slides the axiom off. And a cylinder rises from the ground, stopping at around my calf. Cooper must see my stunned expression. What's the matter, old man? Never been to the city before? At this point, I don't know if I'm more stunned at what he just did, or what he just called me. Old man? I'm like 26. I spit out in a hiss. Never seen a human that young with hair that old. And keep it down, would ya? He's lucky I'm mature, or else I'd call him out for provoking me like that. I stare at him, sticking my tongue out. I huff and sit down on my new seat. It's not very big, but it's enough for me to sit fully on it without sliding off. It's warm, almost like a heated seat. Curiously, I glide my hand along the side. It's almost soft, in that worn plasticky kind of way. Handy. Cooper rests against the building while I take my break. He's tapping away on his axiom again. I try to look at it some more. I can see some pictures, I think, but that's about it. Looking around, there's not much else to talk about in terms of architecture. Most buildings look the same, being eerily rectangular without much detail. Ones that don't look a bit older, but not in terms of architecture. I've never seen this style. They just look more worn out than the rest. Cooper keeps an ear out for the few cars that come our way, but he doesn't seem too worried. Not even for the one a few stories above us. It's kind of scary, seeing stuff like flying cars all of a sudden. I instantly think about a scenario where one malfunctions and just falls straight on me. Ever the pessimist, I shake my head and stand up. Turning to Cooper, I give him a thumbs up. He gives me a puzzled look before doing it back. Albeit a tad weird. Does he even know what that means? This no talking thing isn't going to work. I sigh before gesturing for him to lead the way. Thankfully, he understands that, and we're walking along again. Once again, I start to think to myself, I've come to accept that I'll be doing that a lot now. Seriously, this place is huge. It's a wonder how people don't get lost around here. There are signs here and there, but with all the buildings looking so similar, how do they make sense of it all? My thoughts get interrupted as Cooper suddenly pulls me into a nearby alley. What the fuck? What? Shh! He covers my mouth abruptly and huddles me against the wall. I furrow my brows. Where did this come from? Oh fuck, did he see one of those guards? I can't see anything out of the alley. Cooper is resting on his side now, blocking me. He pulls me in against his chest, my scrawny chest against his built one. This is the closest we've been. With his paw covering my mouth, I can only breathe through my nose. I never noticed it before, but this dog absolutely reeks. My eyes almost water. His musk is so overpowering. If the guards don't get me, the stench will. Actually, no. Guards, please come around the corner. Save me. They don't, as much as I sort of wanted them to. I don't see them, but I can hear the clamping of boots behind Cooper. When they stop, my heart drops. They pick up again after a few moments, their steps fading into the distance. When Cooper moves his paw from my mouth, I take in some fresh air as I move a few steps away from him. I glare at him and whisper in a hoarse voice. Rude. Sorry, they were getting close. They're not the only ones. I actually spit on the ground, getting as much of his musk out of my system as possible. You need a bath. What? Come on, let's go. You'd think with a nose that good he'd have noticed. I don't even give him time to process that as I pull him out of the alley. Ugh. My bravado ceases quickly, though, as I need him to actually lead me. We don't talk for the rest of the walk, and thankfully, no other guards pop up. Nose. After another few blocks, Cooper points to a building. It's one of the only ones with a lit sign. Looks like neon. There, that's our place. I huff. Thank God. My legs were starting to give out again. What is it? A clothing store. I think. You think? Well, I've never been. It was just recommended on the Axiom. By who? Let's go. Okay. We cross the street quickly. Well, as quickly as I can. It isn't until we're up against the building that I finally realize what's been so off-putting about the city. There don't seem to be any doors on most, if any, of the surrounding buildings. This building has some see-through windows above, but here at the ground, nothing. Just looks like a big wall of plastic. How do we get in? Hang on. He pushes me out of the way before taking out the Axiom, this time drawing more of an archway on the screen. When he's doing so, an outline in the shape of what he's drawing appears on the wall in front of us. What the fuck? Once it connects, there's a brief flash of light before a new doorway has appeared. Wait here, I have to open one for you. I can't go through yours? No. Don't worry, it'll just take a minute. Before I can protest, Cooper heads into the boutique and the doorway shuts behind him almost instantly. It hasn't even been a minute, but the fact that I'm alone out in this strange world is giving me goosebumps. I rub my arms a bit, really feeling the lack of sleeves. I wonder why I can't feel pain, but can feel all of this. At least my feet are warm. These heated walkways are nice. I look around some and I think I see a clock in the distance. 2:46 a.m. No wonder I'm so tired. I yawn and rest against the wall. It's cool compared to the floor, which is weird to say the least. Man, Cooper's taking a long time in there. I start to get worried. Looking to the clock, it's been several minutes. It's a door. I mean, it's a super futuristic kind of door, but it shouldn't take this long to open a door, should it? Starting to get antsy out here, I'm a sitting duck. I turn to face the wall and start to feel around before pushing. Surely there has to be other ways to open a door around here, right? What if you don't have an axiom? This all seems ludicrous to me. As I'm feeling around, the outline of an archway lights up. Oh my god. Before I know it, I'm falling face first into the boutique. I yelp and close my eyes, bracing myself for a plethora of broken bones. Instead, I fall on something sturdy and supportive. And smelly. I look up and I'm met with Cooper's concerned expression. I've fallen into his chest. Cooper's gaze shifts quickly, though, back to one of annoyance. What are you doing? I was trying to find a way in. You were taking too long. You want to get off? More than you know. I heave as I basically try to do a push-up to get off of him, but my piddly arms make it difficult. Not for me. Not for me, because I'm on light mode. Cooper instead just slowly lifts me up by my collar, like a kitten held by their mother, and gets me off. I can't believe you survived this long. I don't have a retort. It is admittedly embarrassing to fall face first into your escort like that. Oh my god. My eyes! My eyes! Oh god! I just grumble to myself and work on standing up. Oh great Neptune, my eyes. Oh my heavens, are you alright? I whip my head around toward the unfamiliar voice. As my heart starts to race, Cooper places a hand on my shoulder. Calm down, she's the one running the place. He says with some exhaustion as he hoists me up to stand properly. That's right, just let me know if you need anything, and I'll be there to assist you. She jumps. Oh my gosh, your head! Are you okay? Do you need a doctor? Oh. Right, I'm bandaged up. Before I can respond, Cooper speaks up. He's fine, he just had too much to drink. He then pulls on my cheek a bit, as if scolding me. He needs a fresh set of clothes. Oh, I see. Well, of course. Just let me know if you need anything, and I'll be there lickety-split. Thanks. Her energy is a bit overwhelming, but I nod respectfully toward her out of habit. She looks like a small sheep, maybe no more than 4 feet tall. Her outfit looks like a green bellhop's uniform, complete with a cute and small hat. Before she walks back to her desk, I catch her name tag. Looks expensive with the name Marantha written in gold lettering. Fancy to say the least. Never heard of a name like that, though. Wonder if it's a local thing? Okay, enough gawking. My inner monologue is once again interrupted by my escort, who lightly slaps my back. Hey, what was that for? You're taking up time again. Go find something to wear, something cheap. I rub my back, and for a moment I think I feel something. I'm just tired. I'm aware. Now hurry up. He then scoots me off further into the store while he rests against the wall, fiddling with his axiom. Wow, thanks for the help. I want to go to sleep. In a real bed. In any case, I start to wander around the store. Everything looks pretty tacky, to say the least. Lots of weird designs, and most don't look very practical. I shiver. These floors aren't heated. Looking around, I don't see any shoes. If I remember correctly, which is already a stretch, most clothing stores don't hold shoes due to beastmen needing specific shapes and sizes. Guess it's not unreasonable for them not to have any. Regardless, I walk up to Marantha's desk. This might be easier than wandering alone. Plus, Cooper'd get mad at me if I dawdled. As I walk up to her desk, I realize something. I think she's asleep. Excuse me, Miss Marantha? I get up, I get closer, and yup, she's asleep. She even has a little pillow on her desk. I look around for some sort of bell to wake her up. I feel bad, but I do want to get out of here as soon as possible. There's some kind of cube thing next to her nameplate. I tap the cube, and sure enough, it produces a small ding, instantly waking her. Hello. Oh, hello, sir. Did I fall asleep again? Hello, and, yeah, I guess you did. Oh, dear me, I do apologize for that. I hope you weren't waiting long. Her voice sounds like if a stuffed animal sheep came to life. She's adorable. It's no trouble at all, ma'am. I'm sorry for waking you. Oh, look at you being so considerate. If everyone around here was like you, this job would be heaven. She hops down from her chair to greet me. Definitely a couple of feet shorter than me. I take it you need some help deciding? Yes, I need some advice. I'm not looking for anything. I pause. Extravagant. Oh, and here I thought we had some of the more tame selections around these parts. I guess that explains your accent. She laughs, but I freeze. Oh fuck, this must be why Cooper told me to keep quiet. They could pick me out from a crowd just by talking. Where are you from, sir? She almost trills as she walks me along the selections. Do I lie? Do I tell the truth? Vermont. She tilts her head at me, smiley expression unfading. Oh, wow. What? I've never heard of the place. What province is it in? Hey, what's that? Oh, that's by designer. Whew. Yeah, this is going to be an issue. I'll have to talk to Cooper about how to handle these kinds of situations. I let her chatter on. It's honestly just pleasant to hear her talk. She asks about my tastes and what I'm looking for. After I give her the rundown, she claps her hooved hands. Oh, that explains why you thought we mainly had extravagant stuff. You're looking for something minimalist. Sure. I just nod. I don't really think of clothes as some sort of art. If she can help me get what I want, that's all I care about. In that case, I think something over here would be perfect. Despite her short legs, she's speedy. I nearly have to jog to catch up to her, which only wears me out more. These were designed by a relatively new designer. He's still up and coming, so I'm sure he'd appreciate your business. I look over, and yeah, these seem pretty standard to me. Just how I like it. After a few minutes of pursuing, I pick out a few outfits. They have tags on them, but I can't tell what currency they're in. I think I can make out some sort of stylized P, but that's it. I just don't want to break the bank for Cooper. I think these should be fine. Is there any way to try them on? Certainly. Follow me, please. I nod again. Her enthusiasm at this time of night is impressive. She scurries off to another wall and holds out her wrist. Huh, she has an axiom too. Hers looks different, cuter than Cooper's. She draws a rectangle on her pink screen and a door appears on the wall. Here you are, sir, the dressing room. It also has a bathroom if you want to freshen up. When you want to leave, just hit the button on the table. Do you have any questions? I think I'm okay. Thank you for all your help. I really appreciate it. Aw, aren't you just the sweetest? Well, just holler if you need me. With that, she scurries back to her desk. I'm so tired that I can only muster a half wave to her. She's very nice. I look toward the opening and head in. Don't know what to expect. Yeah, fuck, wrong program. It's dark for a moment before a harsh pinkish hue illuminates the area. I have to shield my eyes, dropping my clothes. Sensing discomfort. The lights then tone down drastically to the point of just softly revealing everything. Is this to your satisfaction, customer? Sure, I guess. I don't even question it at this point. Very well, enjoy your stay. Creepy. I scoop up the clothes and walk around slowly. It's pretty spacious for a dressing room. This place is freaking huge. Who needs this much space to get dressed? There's what seems to be a vanity along with a large mirror framed in neon lighting. I'm still far away enough, but it's dawning on me. I have to get a good look at myself. Why am I so nervous? How bad can it be? If my arm and legs are anything to go by, pretty bad. Okay, that's enough. I'm still me, whoever that is. Oh, thank God. Why do I keep opening up that program? Say that, but I close my eyes as I get closer to the table. After I feel around to find a place to put the clothes on, I open my eyes. Wow, my hair is really long. I stroke it again, really getting a feel for the length. Doesn't look like I've eaten much in a long time either. I'm not withering away, but I can definitely see a lot of bones. My cheekbones in particular are fairly announced, along with a pasty complexion. Bonk. I guess I don't get much sun either. This sudden confrontation with my own reflection just makes my mind wander. Where have I been? And with who? I can feel another panic attack coming, and I stand up straight. We can panic later. I need to get used to this. What I've become. I take a deep breath and start preparing myself for what's next. What does my chest look like? I clutch the bottom of my shirt, and although I hesitate for a moment, I decide to just pull the thing off. For a moment, I look away from the mirror, but I glance, and then look fully. Wow. I'm not sure if I'm disgusted or just plain shocked. My ribs are easily showing, with several stitch scars throughout my chest. I trail my fingers over a few of them, which makes me shudder. Didn't really realize it, but my hands were pretty cold. I repeat my new mantra. How the hell did I end up like this? I stare at the reflection in the mirror for a while longer. The only thing I can recognize are my green eyes. I remember Damien used to compliment them all the time. Eventually, I snap myself out of it. As weird as I look, we don't have a lot of time. I'll get used to it, sooner or later. I turn, and that's when I'm met with the weirdest part of my body. Along my spine are several pieces of metal. It's a horror game. Is it a horror game? Please tell me it's a horror game. Along my spine are several pieces of metal. They look like ports. I'm genuinely hoping it's like psychological horror, similar to how Echo was. I'm not very flexible right now, but I managed to get my arm around to feel one of them. I push into one and immediately feel a wave of nausea, almost falling over. There's some sort of flash, a bright light, along with the feeling of tightness around my limbs. Fuck, my face was hard enough, but that's not something I'm going to get used to easily. I shake myself out of my stupor and rush to get my clothes on, not wanting to look at what the mirror is showing me anymore. I kind of want to see. Thankfully, it doesn't take long for me to figure out an outfit. It's a black turtleneck and dark pants. I can't tell what they're made of, though. The turtleneck is light, but I feel like I'm warming up. I already feel like I'm warming up. The pants almost feel like jeans, but smoother with fabric I've never felt before. Probably best not to think about it. As long as they're functional, that's all I care about. I'm ready to leave, so I push the button thing on the table. Takes about a minute for the door to open. I wonder if she fell asleep again? Don't blame her. I'm surprised they have anyone working this late at night. I gather up all the extra clothes in one arm and my old scrubs in the other. I try to compose myself, still disturbed by what I've become. Marantha's back at her desk waving at me. Cooper finally lifts his head from his axiom and walks over to the desk. He doesn't look thrilled. Welcome back. Oh wow, that outfit does look nice on you. Very comfortable. I might need to try that designer out myself. Oh, well, thanks. I'm not sure if I'm much to look at, though. Oh, Hutch, you're definitely one of the more unique humans I've ever come across. She turns to Cooper. Wouldn't you agree? She's beaming. I don't think even grumpy Cooper can ignore that. He looks okay. Unique is definitely a good word. Oh god, is he going to be one of those, like, asshole gays? Like, he's giving me, like, oh yeah. Like, gay and mean is his personality. Until you get to know him, and then you realize that he's not actually mean. Is that his whole thing? I rub the back of my neck. It wasn't much, but I do appreciate the compliment. After everything in the dressing room, I'm desperate for any boost of confidence. So, how much? Well, let's see. Give me a moment to calculate everything. She takes out her frilly axiom and starts tapping away. I move next to Cooper, wondering what they're doing. Is this how money works around here? More or less, at least in the ritzy cities. They don't trust physical cash. Weird. Cooper huffs before lifting up his own axiom. I can see him slide the screen to a different window. There are numbers along it. And there. That should do it. She types before sliding her screen forward, and I see it appear on Cooper's. I actually read it for once. I can actually read it for once. Maybe it's a customer service thing. Cooper reads it too and doesn't look happy. He grimaces and groans quite loudly. I guess it's expensive. He looks me over again before sighing and tapping a button. I think his signature pops up along with the numbers on his screen dropping to a near zero. Damn! Oh, now I feel bad. Thank you for your patronage, Mr. Krager. Cooper narrows his eyes at her, then slides his axiom off with annoyance. We're leaving now. Oh, okay. I turn to Marantha. Thank you very much. I hope to see you again sometime. Oh, you. That's supposed to be my line. She reaches over her counter to shake my hand. Pleasure doing business with you as well, sir. Don't worry about the clothes. I'll take care of them. That's what this feels like. Thanks, I appreciate it. I hand her the pile of clothes I didn't take, keeping the ones I wore under my arm. Try to fold them like she gave them to me, but yeah, that was kind of hard. Have a good morning, boys. You too, ma'am. Hope you get some good rest. We wave to each other, but then Cooper locks his arm around mine, taking us out of the establishment. Oh no, he's going to be angry. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it, he says to himself. Guess I was right that it was expensive. Sorry. It's fine, it was my idea, and I'll get paid again soon anyways. Just know that it didn't come cheap. Okay, thank you. Cooper huffs and nods before letting me walk on my own. We walk again on the sidewalks, however, this time I don't know where we're going. I'm curious about something, though. So, Cooper Krager? He whips around to look at me. If you know it's good for you, don't ever say that name again. Okay, sorry. He huffs yet again and continues on. I really don't want to be in a bad spot with him. Sure, he's kind of pushy, but even in the past few hours, he's done nothing but take care of me. I'll need to figure out a way to repay him somehow. So, where are we going? Home. I pause. I know we're going to resume, but what about right now? What? No. He turns to me. We're going to my home. You'll be spending the night. This time I stop walking before going wide-eyed. Wait, you're not homeless? I'm partly joking, but with how shady he is and how much he smells, I just assumed he was. He looks completely done with me, so he doesn't even give me a verbal reaction. The amount of side-eye in that look. Just the pure amount of side-eye. I gotta catch up with him. Go to catch up with him. I guess I should expect unexpected things. Like spending the night in a strange world with a strange wolf. So he was all like... I swear, he was all like, oh my god, you like spent all my money and you're questioning and you said my name and I don't like that. You dead named me. I'm just going to give you one very long, disappointed side-eye. Hey, wake up. You're not going to sleep the whole weekend away, are you? I might be tempted if you'd let me. Come on, wake up. Before I make you. Feel the sensation of Damien ripping my covers off, waking up to a blast of cool air. Chapter 2, Objectives. My eyes have trouble adjusting for a moment, but I remember where I am. Oops, sorry about that. Cooper says he tries to hoist me further up his back. I think he almost dropped me. Despite the cool night air, I found myself sweating a fair amount. That's the desert for you. I think about 15 minutes ago, my legs finally gave out and Cooper had to resort to giving me a piggyback ride. He's not the best at it. I had to coerce him to take off his bigger rifle, too. Damien's definitely got him beat in that regard. Still, it's better than walking. Once we left the city, much of the paths were gravel and dirt. Cooper said he might have some spare shoes at home I could wear. When I asked him where he got them, he told me not to worry about it. He might be right. The less questions I ask, the better. Not like he'll answer them anyway. So tired at this point. It must be near 4 a.m. Every time I try to rest my head against him, that stench blasts my nose. Although I'd rather not mouth breathe so close to his neck. I don't want any of that gross fur in my mouth. Hey, how much longer? Another quarter mile, I'd say. Do you not have a car? If I could barely afford that outfit, what makes you think I could afford a car? Fair point. I really shouldn't be complaining. He is carrying me, after all. Still, even if I can't remember most of what's happened, I think I should be able to complain just a little bit. No more headaches or nausea, though, which is a plus. Do you really live out here? No, of course not. That city is the only habitable zone for miles. So where are we going? Again with the questions. Again with the dodging of said questions. I give an annoyed and exaggerated yawn. I know you said things are classified, but if we're almost there, isn't that enough of a window to fill me in? You'd be surprised how quickly clients will cancel a contract upon leaking information. Is that not leaking information? I'm starting to slip back down again, and Cooper tries to hoist me up. Please stop talking. I'm tired and not in the mood to banter. Okay, sorry. He grunts at that and I frown. Remember, I'm not doing this because I want to. I'd much rather be shooting the shit with my friends at the bar than carry your scrawny ass across the country. Sorry, I'll be more mindful. My heart does sink a bit at that, but he's right. I do need to keep in mind that we're not friends, or ever will be friends. Just coincidental acquaintances. I must really be lonely if I'm growing attached to this jerk. Cooper sighs, though, and even surprises me. No, that was a bit uncalled for. Believe it or not, you're one of the least insufferable escorts I've had to deal with. Even with the clothes. You kidding? You should see the bills I've had to pay just to make some of these clients happy. Cooper groans before ranting some more. Some of these mafia daughters think they're actual royalty. I can't help but chuckle. That is certainly a point to have. Can I ask what made you get them? Maybe. In the morning. It is morning. I try and press my luck. Fair enough. I'd like to think he smirked at that. We carry on in silence for a bit longer, and I think I start to see cracks of pink invade the horizon. The sun must be rising. Is it okay if I sleep when we get there? Might mess up my sleep schedule, but I'm exhausted. Lucky for you, I'm not one for itineraries. As long as he gets you to resume on time, I don't care what we do. Sounds a bit contradictory, although I'm too tired to challenge him on it. Good, because I'm definitely about to give out. Just a few more minutes. Okay. We both huff, and I try to get comfy against him one last time. His musk is getting less apparent the longer he carries me. Guess that's something. There, just up the hill. I eventually do start to nod off again, but Cooper wakes me up once more. I'm so sleepy at this point I can barely crack my eyes open. The sun's definitely coming up, which illuminates the hills in front of us. It would be pretty if it wasn't so damn late at night. What is it? A capsule motel. I think I've heard of capsule motels before. Hotels before. Not a motel, though. Thought you said we were going home. You'll see soon enough. Besides, we have to get there somehow. Okay. I yawn, but I've made it this long, so I try to stay up. I'll crash on his floor if I have to. I just want to lay down. After a trek up the hill, Cooper nudges me again and helps me get down. I almost immediately fall over. Cooper has to hold my hand to keep me steady. Come on, almost there. Okay. I yawn loudly again. Cooper does as well, surprisingly. He literally props me up against the wall of the first building we see. It reminds me of a cottage, both in size and in appearance. It's completely contrasting the futuristic city we came from. Wait here. I'm going to have to register us for the night. Okay. It's kind of refreshing to see him open an actual door. I feel a form of nostalgia I can't begin to describe. Looking around, there isn't much. Besides, this cottage I'm propped up against, there's some weird pod things. Now those contrast with the desert cottage. I debate on trying to figure out what they are, but decide I'm too tired for that. Besides, Cooper will explain to me when he gets back. Maybe. If he's feeling generous. The desert wind is all that's keeping me awake. It must be summer around here since the night air is somewhat tolerable. I think I remember reading that in the summertime it gets to about the high 60s. It's a bit chilly, but I was already cold before. Cooper's pretty warm. I have to say being carried by him wasn't the worst thing in the world. Still, he could definitely use some pointers from Damien. Jeez, I really miss him. Stars begin disappearing one by one as the sun starts to rise. It'd be pretty if I didn't feel like I was about to collapse. Yet again, Cooper's taking a long time, but I guess this time it makes sense. He must be talking with someone to rent us rooms. Wait, does that mean I have to sleep in the same room as him? Maybe I can sleep in the bathroom. Better yet, get him to take a shower. The door suddenly jerks me awake again. Cooper's back. As usual, he looks grumpy. I only got us about 48 hours. This place is such a scam. It does seem to be the only hotel around for miles. Guess that gives them a reason to jack up the prices. Cooper has a look of surprise on his face with a tinge of what I think is worry. How do you know what a motel is? That question is so stupid I actually close my eyes in annoyance. I inhale out of irritation and sheer tiredness. You ask a lot of questions. Fuck off. Cooper also rolls his tired eyes and shoos me along. I follow him as best I can, shielding my eyes from the rising sun. Number 12. What? Oof. I walk right into Cooper, banging my nose against his shoulder. Jeez, warn me next time. Pay attention next time. We're here. We're in front of one of those weird pod things. I pause for a moment. Well, what? This is the part where you're supposed to explain to me whatever the hell this is. Cooper gives an exasperated sigh. Do I really have to? Right now? It'd be fucking appreciated. I raise my voice a bit out of irritation, and Cooper cringes while lowering his ears. Okay, fuck's sake. It's just a standard transfer pod. I don't know what that is, remember? Amnesia? Mother... God damn it. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Cooper growls quietly, and I have half a mind to stick my tongue out at him. He can deal with my moodiness right now. I'm tired. Just watch. You're not gonna die. Cooper takes out his axiom and slides to a different screen. It's shaped more like a sphere than a flat screen. He spins it around before pressing into it like a button. Okay, now I'm awake. Looks a bit staticky for a second, then he rotates his arm forward. He's holding his free paw underneath the sphere, and something slides out from it. Looks like a key. Whoa. Cooper slides the axiom off and presents the thing he just dropped out of it. Judging by the stupid expression on your face, you're quite surprised. Most axioms can digitally store physical objects. This is the key to my place. I keep it and other important things in it, so long as they fit. That's handy. It can be. I know some pricier models that can store a hell of a lot more. This and a few personal belongings is about all I can store. I see. Wow, okay, that was pretty cool. Just don't grab it while it's in the axiom. It hurts like hell. Noted. As if I'll ever get one. Cooper sticks his key into another device, looks like a rod with a port in it, and walks up to the pod. If I could describe it, the pod looks like a big plastic egg with ridges along the sides. Maybe a couple feet taller than Cooper and I. Then Cooper sticks the rod into a hole on the side of the pod. There's a brief flash, then the outline of a door frame starts to materialize. Before I know it, there's a normal enough looking door transposed onto the pod's surface. Ready? Sure. Whatever. I just want to go to bed. Cooper takes my hand gently and starts to open the door. Close your eyes as we enter. It'll feel like a long hallway. I do as he says and walk with him. Okay. We walk for half a minute. I don't get the best look at it, but there's no way the inside of this pod is that big. Can I open my eyes yet? Sure. I open my eyes for hopefully the last time tonight. We're going to leave off here tonight. It's going to be a bit choppy. But I'm not going to stick around for much longer. I need to make a TikTok and do some shit. So, stay safe. Have a good night. And I'll see you all tomorrow.